Welcome to the Uzziah Show, where being young, black, and successful is celebrated. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your business, career, or finances, then this is the show for you. Welcome, y'all. Tonight, we're going to talk about freedom ain't free. We're going to talk about this situation with United States Border Control and what we see going on with our Haitian brothers and sisters. This is going to be a really important topic, so make sure that y'all tap in with me. Make sure that y'all leave a comment below with your name and the city that you're from so I can show you some love. Now, for those of you guys that are just watching this for the very first time, my name is Uzziah. I'm a professional business consultant, and my job is to help people get out of debt so they can start their own businesses. But on this channel, it's important that we recognize how we have to take responsibility for everything that happens in our community. And that's the reason why I'm talking about this subject tonight, y'all. So if y'all are on, welcome. I'm so excited to be sharing this night with you. I'm only going to be on here for about an hour. We're going to keep it where it needs to be at today. So please make sure that you join and cam up. I'm looking forward to getting some of y'all on camera just to see what your thoughts are on the situation, as well as some of the talking points that I'm going to discuss. Now, as y'all know, with every show, I strive to give y'all as much free game as possible. I strive to give you as much content as I can on how to get to the next level of your life, reach your goals, and become the very best version of yourself. That's what I'm going to do in tonight's show also. But all I ask in return is that you keep the engagement flowing, okay? So for those of y'all that are on, please keep this engagement flowing. Y'all leave me a comment. I know y'all are out there, you're hustling and bustling, but please let me know that you're out there. Big shout out to my brother Yasha Allah for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for the sponsorship, my brother. Greatly appreciate it. He said he got it in before sundown. Hey, that's how we do things over here, man. Thank you so much for all of the support. For everybody else that's on right now, welcome. Tonight, we're talking about Haitian migrants versus U.S. border control. How much does freedom cost? Okay, very important topic. If you're just coming in, please make sure that you leave your name and the city that you're from so I could give you a big shout out, show you some love. Also, y'all, keep the likes up. Keep smashing that like button because this is something that a lot of our people need to see. We need to be able to peel back all the layers of what is happening in society. So by you smashing that thumbs up button, this actually tells YouTube to promote this out to more people. Let's not keep this a secret, y'all. Share this video, smash that like button, and please make sure to subscribe. Once we hit 10,000 subscribers, that's when you'll be able to get the Black Men's Career clothing line on YouTube. All right. So make sure that you tap that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so that way you never miss out whenever I do another show. Those of y'all that are just joining, we're talking about Haitian migrants versus Border Patrol. How much does freedom cost? I do this show 6 days a week from Sunday through Friday at 7 p.m. Central. If this is your very first time, welcome. You've arrived at the only positive Black male media platform that talks about financial, spiritual, and communal empowerment all in one. So if you love what this channel is about, then please donate. Your donations help to keep these shows going. All you have to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat to give a super chat. I'll make sure that y'all give you a shout out. Also, you could give a Cash App as well as a PayPal donation. The information is on the screen. I'm not going to talk about that for too long tonight, y'all. I ask that y'all donate, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that tonight because we got a lot of ground to cover. Shout out to my sister Ariel out in Austin, Texas. Much love as always. Listen, y'all, I want to tell you all about something. Before we get into tonight's topic, I want to make y'all aware about a recent tragedy that was brought to my attention. A lot of y'all that have been riding with me day by day on these shows are familiar with a brother named Rodney Lawrence. Y'all saw me do a transformation call for his business last week where I was showing him how to improve his website. I was informed that our brother Rodney's mother passed away earlier this week. So for those of y'all that have been vibing with us, that have been on this channel day to day, I ask that you please send your prayers and condolences to our brother and his family. We about to do that right now because y'all know on this show, we're a family, y'all. It's not just about me. This is for our community to be able to come together and look out for each other on all levels. So with no further ado, Father, I ask, oh Lord, that you put a hedge of protection around our brother Rodney and his family. We know that our brother is going through very hard times right now, Father, but we ask that you keep him lifted. We ask that you keep him comforted. You can keep him strengthened, Father. Please do not allow this grief to overcome him so heavy, oh Lord, that he is not able to endure the day. Father, we know that this is a very great calamity that our brother and his family is up against, and we just ask that you bring healing to him. We ask that you bring healing and support to him, his family, all who are devastated by this tragedy, Father. We ask for all of these things, knowing that by you and through you, all things are possible. In the name of thy Son, Jesus, we pray and we thank you, O Lord. Amen. I just wanted to get that out there real quick, man. I tell y'all all the time, those that tap in with me, I love y'all and I love our culture. And I'm never going to hear devastating news about any of us that are on this platform and not bring it to our family for us to pray for. So y'all keep that brother in your thoughts, and I will keep y'all posted on anything that I hear on my end. Let's get into today's topic. Haitian migrants versus Border Patrol. How much does freedom cost? You know, ever so often, we as a people in this society really think that we've made it. And then something happens to remind you how they really think about you. This was a here's what they think about you moment. Now, for those of y'all that are not familiar with the story, do your homework. We've just witnessed an instance where the United States Border Patrol posed an act of chattel slavery towards many of our Haitian brothers and sisters. As you can see from the thumbnail, man, this looks like something from the 1600s. This looks like something from when our forefathers and foremothers were on the cotton fields, being whipped and scourged as being slaves. A lot of us talk about slavery is gone, but look at the imagery that is being promoted for us to see. Now, just because you may be in a better condition in your nice house, driving your nice car, that does not mean that our people are not affected around the world. So whenever these situations happen, I'm always going to bring it up because I want us to understand that freedom ain't free. When I'm telling us to come together as a community, to pool our resources together and create generational wealth, I'm saying that so that we can limit situations like this from happening. But y'all know I got to bring the spiritual side of things into it. This is the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. A lot of y'all didn't think I was going to go here, but I'm going to go here. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. Slavery comes in many forms. And we're going to spend tonight talking about the things that we can do to improve our condition. This is the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Now, I'm not going to spend this entire segment going over this particular verse. If you know, you know. But what I will say is that this is when the children of Israel were promised that they would go into slavery for breaking God's laws. If y'all want to learn more about the spiritual side of things, then check out my YouTube channel, True Spirit of Christ. Some of y'all know that I am the head pastor of a church, and I do services Friday nights as well as Saturdays, talking about things like this in more detail. Check it out on that channel. This channel, we talk about generational wealth and Black business ownership. So I'm going to keep the focus where it's at, but I'm just throwing this out here for a reason. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now, the reason I'm bringing this out about no man shall buy you is because we think that as long as we got a good job, that we are absolved from slavery. I'm going to show you tonight that slavery comes in many forms. One form of slavery is financial slavery. And I want us to start connecting the dots on how all of these things come about. When the Bible says that we have no man shall buy you, no man shall redeem you from the condition that you are in. So it is important that we do not look for anybody else to fix our problems but us. That's why I created this channel in the first place. The reason why I created a channel called Black Men's Career, where I lose a massive following by all these other communities who do not like that I go on a mission to educate my people, is because I'm one of the few Black men in America that believe that Black people need to solve Black people's problems. I'm not looking to anybody else to try to intervene and tell us the direction that we ought to go. This is so that way we can do better for each other, so that way we can get out of these conditions. When y'all see things like what's happening with our Haitian brothers and sisters, you're seeing what people really think about us. And every now and then, whether it's George Floyd or Eric Garner, you see things get taken to a level where it's so much deeper than just law enforcement. You see the powers that be trying to take things somewhere else. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it right there. But I do want to point out to y'all that slavery comes in many forms. Since this is a channel that promotes financial freedom, I want to talk about financial slavery. While all of y'all are looking at this and saying, man, it looked like this brother is on a plantation. I want you to consider that when you do not order yourself the right way financially, we find ourselves enslaved also. Let's look at some of these comments that have just popped up. Close to Yah says, I thought your thumbnail was a scene from one of those slave movies. Oh my gosh. No, this ain't from no movie. This is real life. This is happening to our brothers and sisters in 2021. And I'm just bringing it to y'all's attention. A lot of us think that because we're not the ones getting a whip on our back, that there's no such thing as slavery going on, that we're not an oppressed people. Listen, y'all, now is the time for us to come together, to put our resources together, and for us to really bring education and empowerment to our community. All right. This platform is not against anybody else, but this is about us pouring into each other, because if we don't look out for each other, nobody else will. Shout out to Pecloria for the $10 super chat. Much love to you and your household. She said, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it on the news. Surely slavery is not dead. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how slavery comes in many forms. And even though we can see the signs of physical oppression with our Haitian brothers and sisters, I want to talk about this financial slavery that many of us are up against in America that we tend to take for granted. We are kept financially enslaved. There's a reason why it's called financial freedom. See, I know that there's a certain demographic of us that are out there that are saying, no, we're not slaves. We've got it so good. We tend to overlook and pretend that we do not have problems. But I'm going to tell you guys this. As true as it is that we have more access than many of our foreparents who were brought here on ships, we still have to have awareness of the system. Even if we are not on the cotton field, it's very important for us to understand that slavery takes on many forms. We can find ourselves enslaved through our religions. We can find ourselves enslaved through the educational systems that's not even teaching us how to get high-paying jobs. A lot of us still don't realize today that many people that went off to college and racked up tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, are deep in financial slavery because the system itself is based upon the elites creating a wealth gap where you either have it or you don't. So as someone who has been educated in this society, as someone who has understood the design of financial slavery, I'm going to give y'all the game tonight on what the top 1% of Americans know. The top 1% of society understands this system of financial oppression. This is for everybody. And it's not until we wake up and we see the game being played on all levels that we will truly press on and take our culture to new heights. We are financially enslaved by and large. That's why financial gurus call it financial freedom when you're rich. In order to have financial freedom, there also has to have financial slavery. Otherwise, it would not be a goal. The reason why financial independence is a goal is because 95% of Americans are financially dependent. This system is not built for you to be financially independent. The system that we live in is built for you to be financially enslaved. It's designed in a way to where it's you just make enough money to get by. So that way you're dependent upon the government as well as a 9-to-5 job to keep working to maintain yourself. I don't think y'all really see where I'm going tonight. I don't know if y'all ready for this. Are y'all still living in La La Land, or can we talk our talk tonight? Today, we're talking about the Haitian migrants versus the U.S. Border Patrol. How much does freedom cost? Many of us are not on the cotton field, but many of us are still on a job plantation based upon us not having financial freedom. And this is not limited to Black people alone. The entire economic system is built to make us dependent. And today, I want to show you that the top 1% knows this. That's why they work themselves out of the rat race, so that way they're not under the oppression of economic slavery. And I'm going to show you how to get out of it as well. Because even though this channel is based upon financial literacy, once we come to a knowledge of how to remove oppression and slavery at every turn, that's when we will have real freedom in society. Yes, you can go out and buy and sell, and you can go to the movies, and you can go and drink at the water fountain and hold hands with whoever you want to. But don't get it twisted. If you don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail. You ain't that free. If you want to go to another country, you will still need permission and approval to leave U.S. soil. You are not as free as you think, black man. Okay, so I'm really talking on a more revolutionary scale, but I'm telling y'all things tonight that those that know how to work the system apply from whatever race they're in to their benefit. Every time you take out debt, you're committing yourself to longer time working at a job that you can't stand. Every time you add a new expense to your credit card, your car note, or another loan, you are giving yourself more time serving financial slavery. Let me give a caveat. I am not talking to the person that goes to work every single day feeling like they're on cloud nine because they get to live their dream. I'm talking about the 80% of Americans who have documented on record that their lives are miserable because they don't like the job where they're at. Over 80% of Americans have put out there publicly that they hate their jobs. That's the reason why we experience something known as the Great Resignation. The Great Resignation was society's way of revolting against the 9-to-5 system because most people can't stand their jobs and they're only working there to make a living. Once these lockdowns started hitting, people said, man, F this. My life is too short to be spending all of my adult years working on something I don't want to do. You don't have to be black to be financially enslaved. I'm giving y'all the game because I want us to be aware of this as a community. Because when you have financial independence, you have options. When you have financial freedom, you have power. And as we can see, there are many different devices that is used against us to keep us powerless. Chattel slavery was just one form. Many of us are still operating like wage slaves, and we don't even know it. This is Proverbs chapter 22. I tell y'all, we have to put the Most High into everything that we do. We cannot just talk about a dollar. We got to talk about the Most High and how the Most High's righteousness is involved in all of our worldly affairs. The reason why we don't have a certain level of power or success is because we do not put the Most High's will into everything that we do in our lives. This is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Now, the Most High is the one telling you that when you don't set up financial freedom, you are going to be a slave to whoever the borrower is. Some of us are slaves to our cars. You got a job that you don't want to work at, but you're going to be working there for the next 10 years just to pay off your car note. Some of us have a mortgage and we can barely afford the mortgage, but we signed up for a life of misery just to maintain our bills. The reason why I stress financial freedom on this channel is because financial independence gives you liberty and peace of mind. It gives you not only financial freedom, but time freedom, where you can set your own schedule. You don't have to wake up every day and have to go off and do something that you don't want to do. When you have financial freedom, It gives you the freedom and the mobility to go where you want to go and do what you want to do when you want to do it. So if we want to experience true freedom, you have to apply the commandments of the Most High. And his commandments also talk about financial literacy. We read it right here in Proverbs 22 and verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor. That's talking about money. And the borrower is servant to the lender. We got to stop being servants to people, y'all. We got to start getting out of this debt, and we got to start building assets so that we can have our own for our community. We need our own schools. We need our own businesses. We need our own educational centers where you learn different trades and other things so that way future generations can get by. Many of us still have not recognized in 2021 that the entire modern education system is built upon you being a factory worker at somebody else's job. Let's wake up, y'all. We talk about, people being woke and stuff like that, but how could you be woke if you don't even understand that the 9-to-5 job system, as well as the school system, was all set up during the Industrial Revolution to make the masses of the people dependent upon the system. This is why we talk about financial independence. Freedom ain't free. You're always going to have to fight for it. I don't care if you're talking about the civil rights movement or you getting out of your 9-to-5 job. You will always have to fight for your freedom in this world. Shout out to A Diamond. She gave a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, my sister. You said, yes, I need this info. Please help me. I'm starting all over. All I know how to do is work. I hope I can break free. Love you and your work. Love you too, my sister. I sent you an email. Those 2 videos from Breakthrough Year are up for month 9. Thank you so much for all of your support. Okay. For those of y'all that are just now joining, we're talking about Haitian migrants versus Border Patrol. How much does freedom cost? I've already gone over what we are up against whenever we see these kinds of images in 2021. And since this channel is based upon financial freedom, I want us to filter the conversation primarily against financial slavery. One of the best ways that we can improve the condition for ourselves and our people is through financial independence, not beyond us being spiritually independent by doing the will of the Most High God. Freedom ain't free, y'all. We got to fight for it. One of the biggest barriers that we have to overcome in this society is the barriers of financial slavery. I want y'all to pay very close attention to what I'm saying. This system has set up financial slave barriers that's stopping you from getting to financial freedom. I am not just talking about a conspiracy. I'm telling you something that is in plain sight. Whenever you see any financial consultant talking about financial freedom, it's already implicit that there's an opposite. So the reason why financial freedom is a goal is because society has financial slave barriers. What do I mean when I say financial slave barriers? A lot of y'all understand that 2/3 of all millionaires are business owners. The top 1% is comprised of entrepreneurs. When you read maybe like the Fortune 500 list of the wealthiest people in the world, you're reading about a lot of people that own large companies. I want you to notice there's a slave barrier to have a successful company. The slave barrier is most of us started off going to school, graduating, getting a job, and then at that job, we had to work after our 9 to 5 hours to set up a business on the side. And then it would take 5 to 10 years for that business to get off the ground. We would have to labor and toil night and day so that we could make enough money to quit our regular jobs. That is a financial slave barrier. Most people will not will themselves to work hard on their companies, and as a result, they're going to spend the rest of their lives working at their jobs that they claim they cannot stand. I want y'all to see that. I want y'all to see it. Okay. I want y'all to notice the parallel. The same way our ancestors were under a physical slavery where you were kept in a box, that's where we are with our financial slavery. If we don't work hard enough to create our own businesses, we are going to stay in the box of a job. I'm speaking specifically to those of you who claim that you want to work for yourself. I'm not talking about people that love their jobs. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. I'm not saying this as an indictment upon every American. I'm saying this for those of you that are out there who hit my inbox saying you hate your job. You're going to be stuck in that job unless you create your own systems to empower you. Society is built for you to be a wage slave. Society is built for you to stay stuck in the rat race because they will preach this is where you have job security. There is no such thing as security at a 9-to-5 job. If you do not own and control your revenue stream, there is no security in it. But what we need to do is we need to take the money that we make from our jobs and we need to invest in ourselves. We need to invest in the education and the skill set that is needed so that we can have our own. Okay. Remember, even as many of our Black American foreparents were physically enslaved, many of them dreamt for a day where they could flee to the north or flee to the west, so that way we could buy ourselves out of slavery. This is historically documented. We have financial slave barriers that's stopping us from getting to financial freedom. We ought not to complain about it, y'all. Don't complain about it. Just have the awareness of it and let's work hard and do better. Let's work hard to overcome. We have access to money, but what are we doing with it? I'm not saying this to say that we, take this financial slavery talk and use it as a woe is me moment. Oh man, look at how the system did me moment. No, I'm educating our community so that we know how the game is played, so that we know how to work the system. We are given opportunities, my people. Now is a time for us to do better. If you're just now joining, smash the like button. And please, if you love what this show is about, then donate. All you need to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Okay, I do this show 6 days a week from Sunday through Friday, where I'm on a mission to empower our community to improve our condition on every level. Physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, mentally, we have to overcome. Okay, so let's keep talking about this, y'all. For those of y'all that would prefer to use Cash App, $ Black Men's Career. The links are in the description below to donate. Okay, I want y'all to think about what I was just saying. Financial slave barriers. A lot of you are going to have to go through a 5 to 10 year stint in order to overcome the financial slave barrier. 5 to 10 years of just putting your head down and working at your job. Many of us are too afraid. Again, this is no different than physical slavery. We had many of our foreparents who wanted to get off the plantation, but they were too afraid to leave because, man, where are we going to get our food from? If Massa ain't giving the food, who's going to give it? We had such a dependency on the system. And what did Harriet Tubman say? In my life, I freed thousands of slaves, and I could have freed thousands more had they known that they were slaves. That's the same thing I'm saying to us financially. There are many people that are watching this broadcast that are like, whoa, where's this guy coming from? Financial slave. This is America. We have all the options. But you're not maximizing the options that are afforded to you because you're none the wiser to understand that you're the one that's getting played. When you're working at a 9-to-5 job that you don't want to be at, your employment income is the most taxable form of income in America. Notice how you see guys like Donald Trump and General Electric and these different companies that are able to make billions of dollars and not pay taxes. Why do you have to pay so much in your taxes? Because the system is designed for you to be average. This system was not built for everybody to win. This system was only built for a small number of people to be at the top of the heap. And I'm just trying to show my community how they can get there rather than buying into the system that's designed for you to be the worker and never the owner. Your job is a financial slave barrier. People, by and large, do not get rich quickly through working at a company. I'm just trying to give y'all the game, y'all. Don't be offended, y'all. Listen, when I graduated, I was working at a job for many years, and I took that money to set up my own business on the side so that I could have my own thing going where I could wake up when I wanted to wake up, work when I wanted to work, make what I was worth rather than somebody else dictating my salary to me. These are things that we all can do. We have enough access in this system to where you can make money from home. You don't have to go anywhere you don't want to go. Okay, let's talk about another financial slave barrier. This massive debt that I was talking about from earlier, the borrower is slave to the lender. A lot of us have a ton of debt. We're up to our neck in debt, be it credit card debt, student loan debt, car notes, payday loans, child support, all these different things. We are up to our neck in massive debt. And instead of us making the sacrifice of paying it off now completely, we hold on to it forever, which keeps us in the cycle of debt, having to work just so we could pay other people to pay our bills. This is a trap, y'all. Why do y'all think they call it the rat race? I'm not even speaking just on the racial stuff only. These are things that white people know. Why do you think the elite of their people is transcending beyond the financial slavery that is built into society? Y'all don't realize the Rockefellers, the Fords, it was them that created the system for the masses to have these jobs while they got rich off the labor of the workers. I'm saying, hey, let's labor and work hard. Let your light shine. But if you're going to labor and toil, why not you be the person to make the most of your efforts? Why should you get paid pennies on a dollar and make somebody else rich? Why not make yourself rich, King? Why not create generational wealth for you and your family? Your dollar is going out of your community, helping to build up the wealth of everybody else. At what point will we recognize to do for ourselves? Everything that y'all know that I'm saying is true, y'all. It's time that we tell the truth and shame the devil. Our debt is a financial slave barrier. There's so many of us right now that knows, you know what? If I got out of debt, I would have so much peace of mind. I would be able to quit my job. I would be able to have other opportunities. I could move somewhere. I could try new things. But because you are indebted, you are anchored down by your bills. The borrower is slave to the lender. And I want to let y'all know, It takes a lot of money to buy financial freedom. See, a lot of us are not successful because we have too much fear. We have a fear of failure and we have a fear of success. We fear that if we actually leave the 9 to 5 job that some of y'all look at as the plantation because you hate where you work, the boss doesn't do right by you, it's not your dream. You're so afraid that, man, if I leave this job, there's no way I could ever provide for myself and my family. Let me tell y'all something. Many of y'all that are watching this thing, you're tuning into this thing from America. America, even though it is built with financial barriers that are only overcome by the elites, and you can make a choice to have wealth in America. It is not so blocked to where you don't have an opportunity to create generational wealth. It's not like a caste system to where if you are not born into a certain family, then you're just done completely. You have the access, my people. You just have to tap into it. This is what we talk about when we talk about working smarter versus harder. Working smarter versus harder don't mean you don't work that much at all. It means that you work towards things that can create wealth for you and your family, so that way you don't have to work for the rest of your life if you don't want to. You apply your intelligence towards your labor. You don't just go blindly out into the market looking for a dead-end job, wondering why you can barely get by. Okay? Many of us have fear. Man, if I have my own business, isn't it true, Uzziah, that 80% of all businesses fail within the first 5 years? Man, I need job security. I can't afford to go broke. Most of us have a fear of going broke. Most of us have so much fears, just like we had so many fears in our physical slavery, that it keeps us low. It keeps us bottom. One of the first ways to get to financial freedom is to overcome fear. So let's talk about this financial freedom. I want at least one of us on this channel to get ourselves on a level of financial freedom to where you can buy your house outright and you don't owe any expenses except electricity and food. It's possible, y'all. It is possible. Listen, I want to talk tonight about the importance of financial minimalism. Let's look at what Pecloria said. I've been a slave for 22 years. I wake up at 1 a.m. to punch a clock for pennies, knowing the CEO is sleeping like a baby, making millions. Wow, that's heavy. See, these are all things not to discourage us, but rather to recognize that there's a certain life that we want, and we're limited from getting it whenever we're not walking in our purpose. I'm trying to get y'all to understand, yes, we may physically be able to go around and do what we want to do, but there's only so much that we will be able to do if we are not financially free. So what I want all of us to do is to set a goal for financial freedom, okay? But just know this, it takes a lot of money to buy financial freedom. Freedom ain't free. So just like we've fought for freedom in every other way outside of finances, when it comes to financial freedom, it is going to be a fight as well. You are going to have to fight your temptations, your laziness, in order for you to make the right decisions with your money. I want us to be able to get to a place where we owe no man anything. And we have so much ownership. We have no expenses and no bills whatsoever. The only thing that you need to be taking care of is your electricity, y'all. This is how the top 1% is doing it. I know guys right now who have done exactly what I'm telling you to do. I'm just coming back telling my people to do it. I've structured my life in a way to pursue this. I'm still on my journey, but I'm not being selfish. I'm taking y'all with me. Okay. If you want to get there, you need enough assets to cover the cost of your bills without you having to work. This is the definition of financial independence. When you are financially dependent, you are living paycheck to paycheck, needing to go out and work actively in order to pay for your bills. What I'm telling you is put in work for a period of time, but take the money that comes from your work to invest in assets that makes money on its own on such a level where the dividends can cover your expenses so you don't have to work in order to live. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. The money hits different whenever it comes passively. Whenever you start making passive income, it's going to give you a different outlook on your life and your purpose. Because when you start making enough money to where your passive streams can cover your bills, that's when you're given the freedom of time in order to work on the things that matter. A lot of y'all, you got passions, things that you really want to do with your life, but the passion is being suffocated by your work. Your work has to cover your bills, but your work ain't your passion. The place where you work at is not associated with your dream at all. So all I'm saying is structure your life in such a way where every day you wake up turning your job into your mission. You might have to go a few years working at a job, but take the money from your job and start creating assets so that way you can make money independent of time. My YouTube channel pays ad revenue. This is a form of passive income. Not talking about the super chats. That's something totally different. I'm saying that whenever I put my videos out there, YouTube will pay for my content because they know, hey, we're going to put these ads out. He's going to make money. We're going to make money. That's the way of the world. This is a passive income stream that allows me to make money without always having to work. Okay. My real estate investment property. This is another income stream. It is passive and I don't have to do any work. I buy the investment, I make the money, and then I get paid by the tenants. I don't have to work for this. So what I'm telling you is that by me having those different things in place, it gives me an avenue to tell y'all what I'm telling y'all right now. It gives me the time, the space, the freedom to be able to teach financial freedom to my people. What is your dream? That's what I want to know. What is your dream and why aren't you doing it? Okay, A Diamond said, what about property taxes? That's true. And I'm going to tell you all about something else. We're going to talk a little bit about something that's known as the FIRE movement tonight as well. Financial independence, retire early. A lot of people around the world are getting into this movement where they basically live a lifestyle that's very minimal. And all they do is invest in different things that give them dividends on their investment money that covers their expenses. I'll talk more about that in a second. Your property taxes, hey, we're still in the system. Those are the facts. However, y'all need these assets that I'm talking about that will pay for something like property taxes for free. Okay, I'm going to give y'all a prime example. My investment property that I keep telling y'all about, with this, once this mortgage is paid off, my tenants will not only cover the property taxes on this property, it will also go towards building my generational wealth. The money that I get from this property right now is already covering mortgage, But I'm telling y'all, when you create your assets, anything like taxes or smaller expenses will already be covered with ease. See, the reason why you need to have assets as well as debt paid off is because if you have a lot of debt, it makes it very hard for your dividends to cover your expenses fully. So if you've got a mortgage that's $1,000, a car note that's $500, student loans that's $1,000, it's going to be harder for you to start building up assets that just pays for those three expenses from month to month in terms of a dividend. Does that make sense? You're going to have to make so much money just to make enough return on your investment guaranteed in order to cover those expenses. But imagine that you did not have many expenses at all. Imagine if you were able to buy something outright. I know people that's off buying trailers and RVs, and they're just spending their life traveling. I know people right now that are couch surfing, where they don't own any property, but they are financially independent enough to travel the world. I'm just giving y'all a framework that tells you get out of debt, invest in assets, take the dividends from those assets, not the principal, to pay towards your smaller expenses now that you have things paid off. I know multimillionaires that expenses are so low, they're like somebody that's on a poverty line in terms of their bills. And they live in beautiful homes, driving beautiful cars, but they've done what I'm telling you now through financial minimalism. And all they need in order to be able to live a luxurious life is $20,000 to $30,000 a year. Some of y'all can't imagine this because you're so up to your neck in debt. You can't believe this. But I'm telling you, it's possible. So you need to have these assets. You need to create passive income streams. I just gave you guys 2 examples of things that I do, whether it's through my rental properties or through YouTube. Okay. You need to have investments that come with a guaranteed return. So this goes beyond just, any gambles or things like that where you're just hoping to make money back. You'll know that you're really winning when you can invest in things like bonds and other investments that pay out a guaranteed return from month to month where you get a check for doing nothing. I know multimillionaires that made millions of dollars in their businesses, and they just stashed the money into a municipal bond where the federal government is giving them tens of thousands of dollars every month just by borrowing out his money. I want y'all to see this. What do y'all think that the bank does, y'all? The bank takes your money and does something with it. What I'm telling you is that if you really lock in on what I'm saying on creating assets, you can create your own bank. You can establish your own bank where you take the money that you've made and you lend it out instead of other institutions that are doing it for you, never giving you the return. And as you lend out your money, which is guaranteed to be given back to you, you're not only going to have the loan, you're also going to make a dividend from month to month. I know people that are doing this, y'all. I'm telling you, I make dividends from my investments. Every month, there's a certain amount of money that I make by doing nothing at all, simply leveraging the assets that I have. A Diamond says, what about community living all put in together instead of individual? Do you think of that concept? Yes, that is actually something that my church has as a mission. So yes, it is very important for us to consider all of these avenues, us pooling our resources together, us being able to do things where we can take ownership So that way we don't have to worry about, all these other expenses. If you're just now joining, we're talking about Haitian migrants versus border control. How much does freedom cost? I started off the show showing you the imagery, making it known that just because we might not have a horsewhip on our back, it don't mean that it still ain't happening in society. There's different levels of slavery. I'm talking about financial. We can get out of our financial slavery by getting out of debt and building ownership. You do this by setting up investments that come with a guaranteed return, where you get paid every month just by having certain assets in place. Also, I want to talk to you guys about financial minimalism. I want you guys who are seeking financial freedom and independence to wrap your mind around having a lifestyle with income streams where you only need to spend 10 to 20% of all of your income at best. These are what guys are doing. Listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I know guys right now, I know them personally, who will make $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month and beyond, but they don't spend that amount of money every month. They may live a very comfortable, regular lifestyle, but they're only living off of 10 to 20% of their income. Build the lifestyle that you want. Build comfort. But understand, you don't need everything under the sun, y'all. All y'all need is just a few things. Y'all don't need to wild out crazy anyway, because you're going to lose your mind. But you want to structure your financial freedom around financial minimalism. The reason why these guys are doing financial minimalism is so that in the event that anything does happen where they find themselves in a crisis, they're able to touch all of their emergency assets to be able to secure themselves and their families for the rest of their lives. The guys that are getting into financial minimalism are making it so that way they never have to work a day in their life. If they want to work, they'll work. If they don't want to work, they won't work. This is the reason why I always tell you guys about the importance of having your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. So that way, if you were to lose your job or you find yourself going through a financial hardship, you have financial protection. When you have no financial protection at all, do you know what you have to do? You have to work somewhere where you don't want to work. You have to find yourself borrowing money from your family and friends. You have to take out all of these crazy payday loans that are predatory in nature. Okay, if y'all don't believe that financial slavery is real, why do you think that credit cards are marketed to college students? They know that they don't have the money to pay for it. Why do you think that the system starts peddling credit cards to college freshmen who know absolutely nothing about financial literacy? This system is designed to keep you dependent. America needs millions of people every year who are never going to create financial freedom, who will keep the system alive through massive consumption and labor. If everybody's in the top 1%, well, then who are the workers then? If everybody is a producer, who are the consumers of society? The system needs people to stay ignorant and undisciplined in order to make America run. I'm just giving y'all the game. You could take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Why do you think they send y'all so many credit card offers in the mail? You've been pre-qualified for this. Why aren't they sending you business loan offers in the mail so that way you can escape the 9-to-5 system? Have you ever asked yourself that? Have you ever asked yourself why an 18-year-old child can qualify for a $100,000, $200,000 student loan, but a bank will never give him or her a $100,000 business loan? Have you ever asked yourself that? This system is built for you to stay average. I'm just trying to tell y'all how to get out of the middle class. Because you know one thing, in the next 5 to 10 years, ain't gonna be no middle class. You either you got it or you don't. You saw all these people, eviction moratoriums, foreclosure moratoriums. Look at how many people are going to be out in the street. Many of us don't realize society is up for another big crisis to come. So the things that I'm telling y'all is just for you to protect you, your family, and your future generations. Okay. Shout out to my brother Chevis Watson. He said, power to the people. Listen, y'all, if y'all loving tonight's broadcast, make sure that you donate. Okay. It's been almost 30 minutes since we got the last donation on here, y'all. Make your donation. All you need to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Do a super chat. Y'all know that I shout y'all out. If you want to make a donation through Cash App, all you have to do is look at the information on the screen, $ Black Men's Career, or PayPal at paypal.me. The donation is in the screen below. Okay. Now, let's talk about FIRE for a moment. Some people are doing this. The FIRE movement is known as financial independence, retire early. There's a Black couple that I've watched in the past who used to work just at a regular day job, but made enough money to get out of debt and then start investing in the stock market where they would live overseas to live financially free. You know what a lot of brothers are doing now? A lot of brothers are going back to Africa, because for the money that you put towards an average home here in the United States, you could be out there balling, and you could have beachfront property, oceanfront property. You know, some of y'all are familiar. They talk about things like the repatriation, where Africa will actually give you a stipend incentive to have land and real estate out there, because it's given to you as an incentive for being the descendants of slaves. A lot of y'all don't know that, but this is the show where I give y'all a lot of the free game. So, you know, I've seen people get themselves out of debt so that way they could go and move to South America, the Caribbean island, Africa, all these different places. You know, since we all have the internet, you still have access to everything. A lot of you, a book that I recommend is The 4-Hour Work Week. Not because you need to live under the delusion that you can only work 4 hours a day, but so that you will realize that there is life outside of America. I know a lot of our people, man, you know, maybe the block or your city is all you know, but you'll start going to certain places like Panama, Argentina, Ghana, and you will see there's beautiful places there, just like here. And you don't have to work nearly as hard in order to afford it. I know people, like I said, who, you know, they get themselves out of debt, buy an RV, drive through the world. That's something I would even love to do, because I love driving and going on road trips. Like, there's so many different opportunities that we got to just start tapping into, y'all. We have to unplug ourselves from the programming of go to school, make good grades, graduate, work at a 9-to-5 job, have these student loans, buy a house, have to work at the next 30 to 40 years at a job you can't stand, hate life. There is a better way. Okay. Shout out to my brother Roy, Lyra Texan, the Israelite, for the $10 super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my brother. Ariel said, that is so heavy. No student is being encouraged to get a business loan, but almost every one of them is pushed to get a student loan. Financial slavery is real. Facts. Hey, if y'all don't believe it, stay where you are, because America thanks you. The tax system thanks you. The business owners thanks you. There are so many people who are thanking you for staying ignorant by choice. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice. Y'all got all these videos that's out here telling you how the game is played. Why will you not set some money aside to get out of debt, man? This ain't for me. This is for you. Look at what American African said. I think I'm about to burn this American bridge. Student loan debt is way too high. Hey, my brother, I pray for peace of mind for you, man. I always encourage our people to get out of debt as quickly as possible and set up your own businesses. I mean, some of y'all honestly could do what I'm doing right now by taking your craft, getting on YouTube, showing people how to do it, and you could set up a stream from wherever you are in the world. Long as you got a laptop and an internet connection, you could be anywhere in the world. You don't need the financial whip on your back. You can go to Africa and live more comfortably. You could go to South America and, okay, for the price of y'all's rent and mortgage right now, you could go somewhere else and live like a king. And you could still be making the money online. I could do my show from anywhere in the world. I just choose to be here because not only do I do this, I have a church. There are commitments here, especially for our community. But I'm saying, y'all, there's a lot of y'all. What's the number one cause of divorce in America today? Finances. What is one of the biggest stressors in America today? Finances. The average person in America will die Monday morning of a heart attack because of the stress that they incur from a 9-to-5 job. Facts, look it up. Some of you know my father passed away, 29 years old. He died at 8:55 a.m. walking into his 9-to-5 job at 64 years old from a heart attack. I used to always ask him, Pops, when you getting out this job, man? When are you coming out here? I have a house for you. Just come live with me. You don't have to worry about no expenses. Nah, son, I got to work. I got to wait until my 401k is ready. I got to wait until my retirement account. I got to wait until my pension is ready. A lot of y'all are trading your life for the system's crumbs, for a 401k at a job. But you could set up your own and get a 401k. I show y'all on the show, you could set up a solo 401k as an entrepreneur. You don't need to be at a job in order to have a retirement fund. But it all starts with education, y'all. That's why I'm so passionate about this, because I've seen my loved ones fall victim to these traps, and we don't have to. Get yourself out of debt, build you an asset that you control that creates unlimited income potential, and then take it from there. I say it because you see me do it. Look at what I'm doing, y'all. The streams that I set up, when I set up my businesses, I put out my online courses. I could do a real estate property where one person buys a unit only at one time. I only get paid once a month. But I could sell this book at unlimited volume. You need to start creating assets that give you unlimited earning potential, and then take the money, man. Go move to the Bahamas. Go move somewhere that's going to take you and your family to the next level. Look at what Kim Davis said. It's true. We're living in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and my husband and I work online for ourselves. See? You can't make this up. I didn't pay her to be on here and make that comment. This is just a reflection on how our people are getting ahead. I want y'all to be doing it big like Kim Davis. Shout out to Kim Davis. Shout out to her and her husband. Okay. So these are all things, y'all, that I want y'all to focus on. If Kim could do it, you could do it too. If I could do this show, y'all could do something too. Focus on getting out of debt and building your assets. If you're just now joining us, welcome. Today, we talked about Haitian migrants versus Border Patrol. How much does freedom cost? Freedom ain't free. You're going to have to work hard for it. But a lot of us are working harder than we're working smarter. You will have to work hard. But when you work smart, you can create better opportunities to create generational wealth. All right, I'm going to open up these phone lines now, y'all. Yasha Allah, we got you on. What you think about tonight's topic? I can't hear you, sir. I'm sorry. Let me unmute you. Could you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. Shalom, big brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Yes, good. Great topic. Great topic. Because, people think that, like your show, it's you have it for people to open up. That's what I like. So you can see yourself. I can see myself. Even though, like you said, I can get a loan to buy a truck any day of the week, but a business loan is not happening. I'm like, my truck costs more than a brand new Mercedes. I can get a loan for that like that.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Credit cards keep coming in the mail for me, but my debt is very low. I don't have a lot of debt. One more year, I pay my child support off, and I'm good. You know what I mean? And I do live minimum because I said I don't have a house or car because I don't want to. I'm not home. I want to home one day out the week. You know what I'm saying? So, but the debt would kill you. And you're right. If I can't, even I'm working for myself, I'm contracted. I can't take 4 months off, and that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in debt for this truck until one more year, it all be paid off. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's one thing I want to point out right here. There's so many people that are watching this broadcast tonight and thinking, man, you know what? I wish I could spend 6 months traveling overseas. I wish I could spend 6 months living overseas. Some of y'all want to travel to Europe. Some of y'all want to travel to Asia and other places. Can you ever do that if you are financially enslaved? You need to start building avenues that gives you the location and financial freedom to do what you want. Me and Ariel, we love going on cruises, man. If it was up to us, we would spend our whole life on a cruise almost. But, you have to think about how do you put yourself in the right position to get there. There may come a day where I may want to take a vacation from doing these YouTube shows and then, just spend a certain amount of time going and cruising. But even when I do that, I still have access to create assets from wherever I am in the world. Really, the reason why I come up with this show, my people, is because I'm trying to get you to think bigger. One of my favorite books is the Magic of Thinking Big. If you've never read that book, it's very important because you have to see the world larger than what you've been told that it is. There's many ways for us to be able to live a much better life than what we have, but we just have to find the avenues to do it. Shout out to executive producer, American Film Awards. Brother says strong, big shout out. Yasha Allah, I'm about to wrap this thing up, man. You got any last words for us?
Yes, one thing you were saying earlier about these jobs, I just noticed that too. They have these safety meetings. It's not really a safety meeting. They trying to see what you're really thinking to beat you. Like me, they won't allow me to come back no more safety meeting. They said, nah, we can't have you back. You one of them guys because first thing I asked, hey, we here, I'm wasting my time, but all that sounds good and dandy, but I'm thinking about the money and benefits.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we can't have you come back no more. They won't be telling them about safety meetings. But I see that. Could they ask for your input? No, I just noticed that you just said something. They're trying to get input to keep you enslaved.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, they need somebody to keep the system running, y'all. That's the reason why they don't teach financial literacy in school. We learning all these different subjects. We learning about Thomas Jefferson, the Battle of Gettysburg, the Pythagorean theorem. We're being taught about, Christopher Columbus discovered America. We've been taught all these things. but we're never told about how to reduce your tax burden. How can you legally not afford to pay taxes every year? How can you create passive streams of income? Why are these things not being taught in school? It's just now where you have certain figures who are starting to push, their own financial literacy programs by the approval of the school system. But the reason why the school system never put this in your curriculum is because they never wanted you to get out of the 9 to 5. They never wanted you to stop being the worker. You have to learn how to do this on your own, y'all. You got to let go of just formal education and get into the self-education, because like Jim Rohn said, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Thank you so much, my brother, for tapping in. I'm gonna bring this thing to a close. All right, y'all. So for those of y'all that are just now joining, welcome. Today we've been talking about Haitian migrants versus border control. How much does freedom cost? For those of y'all that are looking to be financially empowered and get past those slave barriers, I'm giving y'all your 2 free stocks here. As you know, the Desire Show is sponsored by Webull, one of the fastest growing financial brokerage companies in the world. Webull allows you to not only invest in the stock market, but also cryptocurrency. So for those of you guys who are interested in being investors so that you can start building assets and getting dividends like I was talking about earlier, this is your shot right here. All you have to do is click the link. It's in the comments below, okay? Look at what Anika said. Also, be careful with sharing your ideas in these quote unquote meetings. A lot of our brilliant ideas were stolen and capitalized on by people of other races. Facts. Look at what happened with a lot of the history in the motherland. Look at what happened with a lot of our culture, of all of the great achievements that we were doing before we came here on ships. Y'all not ready for that, though. That's for another show. I want y'all to smash that like button if you just came in, and please donate if you loved what tonight's talk was about. All you have to do is press that dollar icon. It is directly below the live chat box, okay? I'm getting ready to get up out of here, y'all. My next show will be on Sunday at 7 p.m. Y'all stay tuned, all right? For those of y'all that, again, enjoy rocking with me, I do another show directly after this one on my church channel. Some of y'all know that I am a church leader as well. The name of my church is True Spirit of Christ. We got a special show going on tonight, y'all. Y'all know I'm gearing up for my day of rest. That's why I'm about to get out of here. I do these shows 6 days a week. The only day that I take off is on Saturday. I take a day to just recharge, recover, and give my heart fully to the Lord. So for those of y'all that are looking to hear a good word, if you want to check out my channel, True Spirit of Christ, I'll be doing a show on there tonight at 9 p.m. as well as tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Saturday. I broadcast 7 days a week, but I do it 6 times on this platform, and I do other shows on that platform as well if y'all want to tune in. All right. For those of y'all that missed out earlier, we prayed for our brother Rodney Lawrence. A lot of y'all know Brother Rodney from being on this show night after night as a sponsor. He lost his mother earlier this week, y'all. That's why y'all don't see him on here right now commenting. So let's continue to keep our brother in prayer. We're a family here, y'all. This is more than just about financial education. This is about us coming together as a people, getting on one accord. I love y'all. I pray that y'all have a blessed weekend. Until next time, keep pushing.